See all the stuff flying off now? So this is what...
All right, so you're continuing on this edge using a file that's finer than the Panzer, but still fairly coarse.
No, it's pretty mellow. There's all the stuff flying. See it?
Yeah, I see it here. I'm not sure if it's being captured very well in the video, but I can see that.
So now, do that. Now feel this. You could cut yourself on this for sure.
Oh, compare the... Oh, yeah. World of difference.
Yeah, works, huh? So, am I still on here?
You're still on.
Oh, so one of the things I do too, just to polish the edge, and as a ski racer, one of the things you do when you polish it, you'll, I'll go to the bottom real quick. I'll go like that, right? Just once, and I tilt it in just a little. And it's not like I'm cutting a lot. If I, no matter what I tilt in, I'm not cutting a lot. Cut a little bit. It's basically, I'm getting rid of all the burrs, because when you cut that much, you're going to have a couple burrs. And then I put a little pressure on it, right? I can even do it with two hands. This is with the diamond stone, right? What you're doing with the diamond stones, you're kind of heating up the edge, right? So it heats it up a little bit, and it polishes it. So now, not only is it a sharp edge, but it's a smooth edge. Now you don't really, for recreational skier, you don't really need a polished edge as much as you do if you're racing, right? And why do you need a polished edge? Well, sometimes you lose by 1/100 of a second, and that matters. Right? So this edge is done, right? Tim gave me his approval. So now we flip it over and do the same thing, and we just went tail to tip. Now on the next segment, we're going to go tip to tail, right? So we flip it over, and we're going to repeat the process. So that is go with the diamond stone, and we realize we're definitely, totally, I can't even get the diamond stone to work, right?
Because you got too much sidewall there.
Way too much sidewall. So I'm going to it's so much sidewall high that I'm even going to start with the sandpaper first, right? Start with the sandpaper. Now I'm going to cut the sidewall again.
All right, so I'm going to zoom in on the sidewall cutting again, because this is an important part.
This is the most critical part of ski tuning, because you can never ever tune a ski if it's sidewall high. It's impossible. Nobody can do it. So, but it's a little bit dangerous, but it's really not with this new equipment. These sidewall cutters are way better than the stuff we used to have. And once again, the critical part is having your pressure in. If the pressure is always in and down, you're fine. And don't start like yanking. It's a nice, gentle feather in, feather out, right? I'll start really like with this, and as I go, but you have to do long strokes. You can't do this. It's pretty funny. Years ago, like 4 years ago, I was teaching these 3 NFL football players from the Carolina Panthers, whose dad was co-owner, how to cut sidewall, and these guys were going like this. Like, no, it's a strong person's move. So anyway, it was a funny moment. They couldn't quite get how to cut the sidewall, and they're big, strong dudes. So the critical thing is to let the thing go in a long, like a 2-foot sweep, right? And do gentle. As you go, you increase the pressure down. Your sweep across is kind of the same, but you increase your downward movement. And once you catch it, you run with it. You don't stop. You never stop, right? Whatever you do, keep the pressure going. And you're going to catch pieces all along the way, right?
I can hear it.
Yep. So what I do, since it's like a little chunky, it's not smooth, right? I feel like, when you cut the sidewall, it's smooth, you're good. But now it's not quite smooth the whole way. So it's sunk in here. So I'm going back to the sandpaper to make it smoother. Now that's pretty smooth. So now we're going to try and cut it one more time. See if I get a nice smoother cut. So I kind of got a smoother cut. But now I'm not cutting it too deep. I'm not going crazy. I think, Tim, you might have put a little bit too much pressure on the downward, whereas you really have to let this part of the sidewall cutter rest against the bottom of your ski. You don't want to get it over. So my downward pressure can't be so much where I push it over. I have to just push it down with a little bit of force over, okay? This always has to be flush with the bottom of your ski. And like I said, do it really light first, really light. Easy, light, right? And that looks pretty good. So now I'll take my Panzer file. A lot of people don't even ever use the sidewall cutter because they're not comfortable with it. And that's okay. The Panzer file is kind of made for cutting sidewall, right? So it's made for the people who don't feel comfortable with that, and that's fine. You can do it, but it just takes a lot more time. And if you're tuning a bunch of skis, you need to be able to do it. So now let's see how I did cutting the sidewall. See if I can run this whole thing down and catch edge. Right? So that sound you hear, like I said, use your ears too, is all sidewall, edge being cut now, right? Sidewall's all gone, it's all cleared out of the way. So now I can cut the edge and put a 3-degree bevel. I don't think the bevel on this was 3 degrees, right? It just seemed like it wasn't.
That was the factory bevel.
Well, if you're, I know. So whatever it was, but it wasn't, I don't know. Factory bevels are misleading. So if you get a ski out of the factory, you think your ski is ready, it's not. It's so not ready. With some skis it is, but most of them it's not. Nothing is ever tuned at the factory completely. So if you can see all the stuff flying off the edge, right? There's stuff flying off of here.
I'm going to zoom in and kind of get some of that stuff.
Ready? You see that? But as you see, I'm making a nice long runs. I'm not doing this. It's once again, feather in, and don't feather out. Feather in, feather out. I don't really like stopping in the middle like that. I usually just kind of, although I say that, it usually is always 3 swipes, so. But the biggest part is don't come in hard. Come in light, here, light, and feather out. You know, then you can't do any damage, right? And I'm cutting a whole bunch off of here because I can hear it. I can hear, if the edge isn't clean, if I don't hear that same sound going from front to back, then you know there's spots that are higher than other spots, right? Once I hear it all the same, then I know it's pretty well ready. Now I'll do this. If I haven't stone it. And once again, I'm doing it this way, but you could put it on this same 3-degree bevel guide, right? And you can use 2 hands. I can even use 3 hands, freehand. So a lot of people aren't comfortable doing what I'm doing now, but I've been doing it for a long time. So that's pretty much a razor blade right there. I don't think we need the fine file here. In fact, I know we don't. That's a razor blade. There's a little funkiness here though. So now I'm feeling right here. So what, you do it gently, but I don't never feel an edge until I'm towards the edge, right? You don't want to do it before that because you could cut yourself. So once again, I'm doing this on the bottom. Quick one, deburring it. So I can even feel that there's a little bit of burrs there. That was when Tim was in the woods at Tremblant. So what I'm going to do, just to show you, is I'll put the fine file on. And when you do the fine files, here's a cool thing. You don't always keep it in the same spot. So for me to keep my file going, I'll rotate it here, here, here. I keep rotating it around as long as it catches, because you don't want to use the same spot in the file, otherwise the file gets burned out real fast, right? And I flip it from one side to the other. Make sure you have it in the right part of the grain, right? So now it's catching. This makes a higher screeching noise. We can see the stuff flying off.
Yep, I can see it here.
Yeah. Stuff is flying off for sure. This doesn't cut as much, obviously, as the Panzer file. Pretty sharp. I knew I had something back here that was... That's Tim in the Woods, right there. That's the tree hit, right here. See that tree?
Rock.
Rock, whatever the hell it was.
What like a boulder?
Something. Not a twig. Okay. So now that twig there that he hit is sharp. So we go one more time, and there's never a problem going back and forth with the diamond stone. You keep going back to the diamond stone, smooth it out, and if you have to go back here, but you don't really, once you get to this level, you're not going back to the Panzer file, right? And the next thing you said about that is the next time you tune these skis, all you need really is a fine file and a diamond stone, right? You shouldn't have to cut the sidewall every time. You should, the sidewall is should be done being cut for, I don't know, maybe every 5 times you tune a ski, you use a sidewall cutter. And quite honestly, when it gets to that level, all I do is use the sandpaper. I don't really need to do that. Now we have, no, we need Tim's inspection on this. Don't cut yourself, champ. If he wants to shave.
That will bite on the hardest New England pack.
I would agree with that, right? That's what you call a hand tune, right? So here's the deal with it. It's called a race tune. So now I'll wipe everything off. Should I show the waxing part of this?
We're going to end this video and then start the waxing segment.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to count out.